Hi, Kindred Spirit, and welcome back. As I was percolating and germinating what I was to talk and share about, there's a couple of concepts swirling around. One is something that is urgent, and it's a practice to keep that urgency in its place because I truly know that all unfolds in perfect timing. And it could be sped along a little bit with a little help from what we think about. What seems to be right at the tip, right below the surface, the emotion as we walk through our days is anger, which is a step up from fear. I view our emotional spectrum as fear and love. And as humans, we have lots of practice and lots of experience at expressing the lower vibration emotions. Not so much love. That requires vulnerability. And I don't recall ever really having much instruction about how to do that and stay fully in myself, regardless of what is coming at me after I express myself. So it's hard for me, it was easy for me to get angry. I knew though that it wasn't a helpful emotion. So I got really good at being happy on the inside. And you know that saying, fake it till you make it? You can't fake it till you make it. The way that I see it is we have to practice embodying what it is we want. In other words, who do we want to be, or who do we need to be? But there's a lot of want in it because we all want to be happy. We all want to feel good. So, what do we need? We've had lots of modeling, we've had lots of practice, and we've had lots of validation to show us that anger is a valid source of getting what we want. And yet, the price that it extracts from everyone involved in an anger situation, everyone ends up losing, even if they supposedly win the argument. Even the person who supposedly loses an argument, an angry argument, um, is not necessarily going to come around to our point of view. The exact moment that I realized that I wanted to lay down anger as a tool, as a skill for getting what I want, was I once was so angry at my husband, Mike. And of course, I can't even remember what the argument was about. What I do remember is the effect that my anger had on the person that really, really, really loved me the way I needed to be loved. And so here I was, though. What was I thinking? just vomiting on this other human being, to where really the image that I want to evoke in you is, if he had hair, that it was flying back because the force was so strong. He was shocked and speechless. I didn't know where that came from, didn't like it. And in that nanosecond, realized that I was going to dedicate the rest of my life to exploring the upper end of the spectrum, the loving end of the spectrum of human emotion, if we're going to condense it down to fear and love. It wasn't easy. And I told you about one of the stories in the last story, one of my experiences when I was going through after this big argument with my husband. And it's been rewarding. I can report back to you that now I might occasionally, unconsciously dip my toe in the anger pool. But just like riding a bike, there's an instant switch. And I'd say that in very short order, I'm getting to frustration. And I can handle frustration, because frustration is a place where I can see the other person's point of view and still take a breath, sit back, and hear what they have to say, and know that I'm I'm strong enough to be able to handle it. The second concept that has been rolling around and wanting to be shared is a some words that I heard from a speaker, Abraham Hicks. I was live in the audience, and at some point, in response to a question, they said, one person can make a difference in this world. And at that point, they were referring to Osama bin Laden, because it was near, 2001, 9/11. I'm sure that other one person can make a difference names are bubbling up. And, just kind of sitting with that type of wanting power type of way of being in this world. Let's extrapolate that out a little bit. That one person can be sitting with death and destruction all around them, no one left on this planet, no resources to draw from, but all the money in the world. I don't I wouldn't be happy, would you? And so bringing in the anger piece about this is that keeping the practice of solving our collective, trying to get along with each other, or trying to live collectively, and where everyone can be who they are. I don't think the answers are at this lower spectrum of the emotional scale. I do, from personal experience, know that one person can make a difference trying to practice the upper regions of the emotional spectrum. It's hard to go from anger, anger, fear, fear to happy, happy, joy, joy. Not a requirement, though. Noticing, moving up. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? What do we want to do? One person can make a difference. That's why I am out here. That is why in 2019 I felt that it was time to become even more visible. Another recurring theme: sold everything. And freedom is another word for nothing left to lose. As it's used in the lyrics of that song, lamenting the loss of another human. Spiritually speaking, the suggestion is spot on. The stories of all humanity beckon us to love and be loved, to be who we are and allow others to be who they are. We feel better when we are in community. We are wired to learn from each other. One person can make a difference. The times have always called for it, and the times are calling for it now. Be the change. Be the change any way you want. Whatever that looks like on the outside, the practice is that the change and the peace and the unconditional love is also going on the inside. And in that way, it empowers us. And the vision of millions and millions of people being powered from this way, from seeing this being modeled, from being there will always be violence because we need, as humans, to see the contrast. We get to decide. If you've been watching me, you're a peaceful activist too. And I'm hoping these stories help you to stay strong, reminding you the importance to take care of yourself, because we can't be sick enough, we can't be poor enough to uplift another. And I got that concept from Wayne Dyer. Since you're here, and if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hit, or at the very least, hit that thumbs up, because these are concepts that I think need to be more available to people. And there are people talking about it, and I am just one more person doing it. Peaceful activism means being active in your life with peace at your core, with love at your core. Here's the next seed to germinate. Be the change. If you're here, you're swirling around or vibing around peaceful activism. I want to encourage you to keep going, no matter how difficult or challenging or dark it might seem. Reach out. Share your stories. Share your stories here. I really am interested in learning about them. That's it for today. And until the next time we meet, we're always together. And let's expand on that.